American public is responsible for more than $1 trillion in credit card debt. That's the GDP of Hungary, New Zealand, Qatar, and Portugal combined, with still enough left over to buy Mauritius, Madagascar, Jamaica, and 3 Bugatti Veyrons. And remember, that is only the debt of US credit cards. If you're one of the millions of people worldwide struggling with debt, I know that you would rather jump into a pile of fire ants than have to face the harsh reality. But fortunately, there is a super easy solution. After countless calls with people looking to better themselves financially, I've developed a 4-stage strategy which I call the GROW method, which is gonna help you to not only stop struggling with debt, but break free and then thrive financially. To best explain these steps, I want to introduce you to an old friend. He's a guy who has no clue financially and is constantly making bad financial decisions. Everybody, meet Jamie. Hi. Now, Jamie once got himself into more than £35,000 of credit card debt, and knowing that I have a personal background in finance, he reached out to me and asked me what he was doing wrong. Now, rather than hit him with a hammer, which, trust me, I was tempted to do, I instead carefully explained the big problem, and that is he viewed his credit as his money. I told him that in reality, he should think of his credit cards like an adult diaper. It might seem convenient and even handy at times, but deep down, you know they're not going to impress anyone, and you definitely shouldn't be using them. I love diapers. Okay, mate. Now, everyone has their own reasons for using debt, and especially credit card debt. Some of us have bills or problems that we just couldn't afford that month. Some of us may have even lost our jobs and need to use credit to actually get by. But frankly, some of us, like Jamie, are just shit with money. Buy 5, get 1 half price. See? Now, okay, I get it. Money management is hard, and if the world was easy, everyone would be rich. But if you see credit cards and other loans as a way to temporarily borrow money just to get by, you'd be better off using a helicopter as a beard trimmer. So the big question, what can you do about it? Marry Batman? What? I don't think he's into guys, Jamie.
Become Batman then.
No, you utter lunatic. When you have debt, it means one thing. You're spending more money than you actually earn. Regardless of the reasons for gaining the debt, the solutions are pretty damn simple. Option 1, spend less money. Option 2, earn more money. Or option 3, you can do a combination of both of these. That might seem as obvious as a clown at a funeral, but clearly, as mentioned earlier, many are struggling with this concept. So here is my 4-stage GROW plan that I tell people on my one-on-one calls. Stage 1, I call the guard phase. Now, we all work hard for our money, right? I'm pretty sure everyone watching thinks that. Well, if you have debt, a lot of the money you are working for to earn doesn't actually belong to you. And you need to realize this. The time you're working at your job, a lot of the time is actually going to somebody else's pocket, not yours. Think of it like this. If you go into your kitchen and the sink's overflowing and water's still pouring out from the tap, what is the first thing you do? It should seem kind of obvious that you're going to turn off the tap before you start to mop the floor. In the guard phase, we need to turn off the tap. We need to guard our wealth before we even look at mopping the floor. In the guard phase, what we do is we write down every single debt we have, what the minimum payments are, and what penalties there are if we miss a payment. And then what you want to do is get this piece of paper or document and put it somewhere where you can reference it all of the time. It will eventually become a list that you can check off when you pay off your debts one by one, and it will feel great when the time comes. But this list is a smart way to guard your future, as you won't want to add anything else to this list as time goes on. Stage 2, I call rebirth. In this method, we do something called credit card hour. Now, for most people, it's probably easier to earn more than it is to budget. Nowadays, you can literally jump in your car and deliver food or even just drive an Uber. I mean, for God's sake, you can buy a bicycle for $50 and deliver groceries. Stage 2 is not just about earning money. It's about a commitment to actually conquer your debt problems. I ask all my one-on-one clients, regardless of their stages of wealth, to go and do at least 1 hour a day on average of side hustle. This should average out 7 hours a week, regardless of what you're doing. When we are managing debt, this money we earn is strictly for paying off this debt, nothing else. Now, according to Preeply, you can earn about $20 an hour doing a side hustle in the United States. That's approximately $600 wiped out from your debt pile each and every month. Will it be hard work? Absolutely yes, but by doing it this way, you're going to think twice about putting a PlayStation 5 on your credit card. An important note here is that the amount of money made in the rebirth stage is actually going to be on top of what you're already paying each month. It's a bonus payment, not a replacement payment, so pay this on top of what you would pay already. Now, stage 3 is probably the most important phase and also the hardest, and I call it the owe less stage. According to Credit Karma, the average millennial in the US already is paying out about $440 in debt each month. Now, while you're doing credit card hours moving forward, your debt pile should start shrinking dramatically. But I want you to owe less by focusing on paying off these smaller debts first, these smaller dollar amounts, regardless of the interest rate. If you can tick these off as quick as possible, not only will you get a bit of dopamine, but now you can use that money to pay off the bigger debts, which may or may not have a higher interest rate. The second part of the owe less stage, which again is the hard part and definitely boring, is have a budget sheet. Everybody needs to adopt a boring Excel. You need to document your incomings and outgoings each and every month. And I cannot stress enough how much this will rocket your wealth in the future. If you can't be bothered to make one, don't worry, there's a link for one down below, and if you're a mailing list subscriber, it's even discounted. Now, there are some apps out there which can kind of do this for you, but no, you must make this as painful as possible. You need to make it hard to take effect properly, and when it's complete, we can move on to stage 4. Remember, folks, this is all about making it uncomfortable so you do not fall into a debt spiral. Stage 4 is the final stage, and I call this the wealth stage, the W in our growth strategy. When your debt is nearly paid, you will start thinking about the future. Expenses should by now become more manageable, and we must make sure we never fall into this trap again. And the best way to do that is to follow a very simple and ancient lesson that made me a millionaire by 30. And if you want to find out what that is, you can check it out on Jamie's head.
Am I done now?
Yes, you're done.
Yay.